Okay, I had a request from a student to make on Sketchup help her design this freestanding wood clothing rack. So something like this, at least, we're gonna kind of make it our own. So to start off with, we're in Sketchup for Schools, and I'm gonna get my tape measure tool. We're going to make a guide that goes straight up to the total height, which is 60 inches. We're gonna hit enter. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have a 2-foot footprint. So we're gonna go from the red axis over 2 feet or 24 inches, and we're going to hit enter. And then now I'm just going to orbit around a little, and I'm using a trackpad, which isn't ideal. External mouse I find would be a lot better for SketchUp. So just bear with me on this. We're now going to, from one side of the front edge, we're going to, from the 60-inch one, we're going to move over and we're going to find the center of that 2-foot space. So we're going to go 1 foot over and create a guide point. Then we're going to try to move over, and we're going to have, let's try a 6-inch from that point and a 6-inch from this point. We're going to have a shelf at the top. I think that'll be a function a little bit better than that original design. So then we're going to go from this guide point, we're going to go straight down, make that. We're going to connect to the other 2-foot mark, like so. And then we're going to mark our shelf height. So our shelf height, I think we should have about 8 inches from the base up. And we're going to try that one again because we want a guide line, not a guide mark. So try 8, enter. And that's being kind of silly. So we'll just put a guideline there and see if, there we go. So now we can go 8 up, and then we're going to go from there 3/4 up, and then from there we're going to go another 8 up. And if you're having trouble getting it to lock to the blue axes, then you can just hit the up or down arrow. And I'm just going to go another 8. There we go. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we're deciding what kind of material to use. I think this whole thing honestly should be made out of some 3/4 inch birch plywood that I have, especially if it's going to be painted. So that's what we're going to try. So we're going to get our line tool out. We're going to draw from our base here. We're going to move over, and let's go... Actually, sorry, hang on. We're going to try that again. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so we're going to make sure that this is perpendicular to that line, and it should snap to it. There we go. And I want to make that so that that is a 3-inch wide piece, like so. There we go. Now we're going to move over another 3 inches off of that line. 3, enter. And that's marking out our legs. Now we're going to take our rectangle tool. We're going to draw a line from there down. We're going to draw this all in 2-dimensional form. Connect it. Boom. We're going to do the same over here. So essentially what we're doing is we're just drawing it the one end in 2D. And all of this is going to be joined together with pocket screws. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to type P for our push pull. We're going to give this its thickness, so 3/4 thick. And then we're going to do the same over here. And we could just double click on that, but sometimes you forget those shortcuts. Now I'm going to triple click that to select it all. We're going to type G to make it a component. We can call it leg, it's fine, doesn't matter. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one, even though they're the same piece, just different ways of looking at it. And rather than rotating it, we'll just have 2 separate ones. Okay. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here because, well, maybe we should have done that first, but we didn't. So we're going to draw a line down, get our tape measure tool. There again, we're going to go down 3 inches. I'm going to take our line tool, go from this point to this point, orbit over, there, 2, come on, fella, snap, snap, and lastly, back to where we started. And then we're gonna repeat our push-pull, so we can just double click and it should do that. And we're gonna triple click and type G. Okay, there's that side, and then we just have some pocket screws, 1, 2 pocket screws, 1, 2 pocket screws holding those together, and we can plug those pocket screws so you don't see them, and that will work. We're going to go Control-Shift-E to bring everything into view again, and down here we're going to be doing the same thing. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to zoom in just on this space, and I believe it's Shift-W for zoom window. There we go. Now I'm just going to orbit around to the other side because all our guidelines are on this side, and it's just going to make things a little easier that way. So I'm going to take my tape measure tool now from this shelf. So the 3/4 inch right there is our shelf. I'm just going to design our support. So I think just to keep everything uniform, let's go 3 inches again. Take our line tool. We're going to draw a line in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we go. And we're going to push that back 3/4, enter, makes it a component. Okay, and then we're going to copy that same technique up here. It's not, we can't copy the piece up because it's a little shorter. Could, but then it's just more work. So 3 again. We're going to go then with line tool. We're going to, you guessed it, we're going to draw that in like so, and then we're going to push pull again. So we'll just double click, boom, and type G, make it a component. Every time I make a new piece in SketchUp, make it a component. So there's our basics of the first piece. And so, come on. That's what it's going to look like so far. We're going to have a shelf going across the top. So I think that'll be fine. And right here, I think what we'll do is we're going to make our shelf now. So we're going to go with a rectangle tool. And we're going to draw that in from this point over to here. Come on, man. That's what we needed. Like I said, sometimes you gotta press those arrow keys and try to find it. So there, that's what I want. Nope, I want blue. There we go. So from there to there, blue. What is that distance? So that is 16 1/4. So we're gonna go 16 1/4 as our second measurement. And we're gonna go, let's go 40 inches wide for this project. So 40, 16.25, enter. We're gonna push that piece down. We're gonna go 3/4, enter. And we're gonna make it a component. 1, 2, 3, G, enter. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, there we go. So we need to make another guideline. We didn't do that here, so let's try that again. Now the reason we can't go right from here is because this piece is on an angle, this piece is on an angle, so it wouldn't end up colliding if we just made it from that base. So instead we're gonna go straight up. So on the blue axis, hit the up arrow to be sure, and we're gonna go 3/4, and then we're gonna draw our rectangle. 1 and 2, oops, Control Z for undo. Try that again. So it's kind of being silly. So that distance is 14 and a half. So we're going to go 40, 14.5, enter. We're going to push that down 3/4 and then make that another component. So G, enter. Okay. You notice how these are resting on top of those supports, and that's kind of the point, is that they are supported. Now I'm going to do Control-Shift-E so we can see everything. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our space bar to get our select tool. We're going to hold Control. We're going to select all the pieces of this side, which we probably should have done first. And we're going to make that a group. So we're just going to right click and make group. I think I had that top shelf as a part of that, so that's unfortunate. So we're going to undo that again. Make sure that you're only selecting parts of the side. And you know that something's selected when it turns blue at the edges. There we go. Now let's try that again, and let's make that a group. And here we go. So I'm just going to grab it at an intersecting point. We're going to go move, control, grab at the intersecting point, which for me, I think that's probably going to be the easiest, and place. Now last couple things here to do is we need to make a shelf for the top, and maybe a clothing bar. I'm not sure if she would like that for hanging stuff on. It'd be probably a little nicer. So we can also do that. Let's go with a T again. Let's move down and let's go 5. Let's go 4 inches. 4. Enter. Okay. Then we're going to get our pencil tool out again. I'm just going to orbit around so we can see this. Draw in 1, 2. Oops. Draw that 1 there, I guess, and we'll make another guideline down. Forgot to do this because it's 3 inches. Go back to our line tool. And then let's go push pull, push it back 3/4, make that a component. And this is something that if I had planned this out ahead of time, it'd be a lot easier. Unfortunately, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. And there we go on that red axis, so it's straight across. There, that's looking pretty cool. Okay, and then the last thing that I guess that we're going to do to the actual project before adding our curtain hanger, or clothes hanger, clothes rod, which you could just get a metal one to screw on. You can buy those kits that are expandable, or what might look nicer is a long piece of dowel, or even just a simple, yeah, I guess dowel. Dowel would be the best. I was going to say a 2x2, but that could be hard to hang on with a hang stuff on when it's square. So we'll leave that dowel off, I believe, for this, and I'll let the student decide what she would like to do. So rectangle from corner to corner across the top. We're going to pull that up. Remember, it's 3/4. Enter. We're going to make that a component. G. And then we're going to turn off our guides. So go to our glasses, uncheck. We don't need our axes. Close that back up again. We could paint it. Sometimes that just gets in the way. So I'm just going to go to my dimension tool now because we need to know our measurements. So total width is 40 inches. By the depth at the top is 12. When you have angles like this, it can get a little bit confusing as to what you should dimension, but the actual length of this piece then needs to be 61. I'm just going to move that out a little. Come on. 6'11" and 1/16 is what that would need to be cut to, and with we'll find out what angle. So get our protractor tool, which I've set a shortcut for, and that would be cut at a, come on man, blue axis, so 5.7 degrees. Unfortunately, we do have a fairly accurate miter saw that would cut this. So 5.7, so I'm just going to get this note out. We're just going to type that in. So 5.7 degrees, not digress. There. And so we'd continue on going through this and dimensioning everything, make sure that we've got all the lengths of everything that we need. But I think that's where we're going to sign off. Yeah, so you need these lengths, you need the measurements of your shelves. So these are all these pieces are 3 inches. And so there we go. But yeah, hope that helps. And we'll go from there. All right, good luck with this. Hopefully some of you could design this and build this and it'll turn out great. Okay, have a good one.